Yo, what's going on, guys? And we are here. It is 9:01. I am drinking that coffee. But guys, I hope you guys had a good week and or Christmas. It's been about 9 days since we've spoken to you guys. This past week, we've had a little bit of technical difficulties. My laptop cracked it when I was visiting my folks, so was not able to host the show. I mean, we could have done something there, but we just scratched it all up. And we're back. We're back in the Stewie Griff. So that's good to see, good to hear. And we're gonna try a new format with the show. Today we're gonna talk about some trending news, which would be the Detroit Pistons and some other rumors that we're hearing, while the rest of the show will more than likely talk about the Houston Rockets and the Atlanta Hawks in depth, if that's the plan. If not, we'll do a little catch ups, synopsis of what's going on with those teams. My teeth kind of hurt. Now, whenever my teeth gets a toothache, I get scared because I don't want to have a cavity. Cavity would be the worst thing known to man, in my opinion. Now, I'm just making sure I still have a jawline. I've just felt like really big lately. I'm gonna go play basketball today, so that's no problemo. But either way, let's get into the housekeeping news that has passed around the NBA right now. And that news is obviously Mark Lord and Alex Rodriguez acquire controlling ownership of the Wolves by early 2024. They have, I guess, initiated the action that formalizes their intention to purchase an additional 40% of the franchise from Glenn Taylor, as that will give Mark Lord and Alex Rodriguez 80% of ownership of the Minnesota Timberwolves by early 2024. They had agreed to buy the Wolves for only 1.5 billion at a tranched out purchase. Lord and Rodriguez have been working on raising money to finance their next purchase. And yeah, I mean, I think that's really cool. I think that's really cool. I think it's big news. Now, the next news, I don't even know if this is, worthy of a video, but what we're hearing right now is Lonzo Ball is expected to begin running again in January as he begins the next step in nearly 2 year long rehab process from knee injury. Lonzo Ball underwent a cartilage transplant in March. No player has undergone the procedure and ever returned to the NBA. Ball's not expected to return to game action until the 24 to 25 season. Even that's an uncertainty. Now, the fact that, Lonzo Ball's coming back from an injury that never ever, it's crazy. So I mean, I personally hope he comes back and he breaks the odds and he proves everybody wrong. But I'm well aware that, Lonzo Ball, who's hopefully he'll start running, like this report from Julia Poe of the Chicago Tribune says, will be his next step in the rehab process, in a 2 year long rehab process, and undergoing a knee cartilage transplant just, I guess, 9 months ago is crazy because no other player had undergone that procedure and ever came back to the NBA. And he's not expected to play this year. 20 and maybe in 24, 25 we'll see him. So the quote from Billy Donovan is that he's doing everything that needs to be done in terms of progressing him. He's handled very well. The pain that he was experienced that was causing setback, I think, has been eliminated in terms of what he's doing now. But he hasn't ran. The next progression for him will be starting running. That'll be here in January. End quote. Billy Donovan said, as you guys know, Lonzo Ball tore his meniscus almost 2 years ago on January 14th, 2022, underwent surgery and was expected to be back in playoff times. And then he underwent a knee debridement, and that's where we are today. So, what do you guys think of Lonzo Ball? Will he be back sooner rather than later? And yeah, I mean, I have a video talking about where the Bulls don't think he'll ever play again. So I do think that one's pretty crazy when you look at it, because it's just Lonzo, man, Lonzo. Now, MAU Doka was asked after the team's loss in Indiana if they expect Jalen Green to get a bench role anytime soon. The kid's averaging 16.9 points. He's actually averaging a career low in points, shooting percentage, everything. He's not necessarily having the best year. over the last 10 games to be exact, he's averaging 12.7 points. Like he's been in a stinker. And when asked if he expects, a change, he says he's going to keep him out there. Bradley Beal is going to be back supposedly Friday against the Hornets. And the biggest news, Nikola Topic, the best European player, best international player in this year's draft, has had his loan with Mega prematurely end, as he has been called back by Red Star for the remainder of the season. Topic is ranked by ESPN as the sixth best prospect in the 24-25 rankings. He says this has been a dream come true to play for Red Stars. It's something that he's wanted to do, play in front of the 20,000 Red Stars fans. And this is a huge risk, but he has 100% confidence in himself. So does his agent, and they understand that this move could affect his draft stock if he does not do well, as there is no teenager in Adriatic League history that has posted the numbers of 18.6 points, 6.9 assists, 63% true shooting. Topic has done. And now it's the opportunity to play in the EuroLeague is what I believe is the biggest thing. And yeah, and his agent is the same agent for Vasilija Micic. So just so you guys know that he's represented by Vasilija Micic, and he's basically one of the most respected and influential guys. Like his guys are like Jan Vesely, Paul Zepser. I mean, he had Deron Williams, Kyrie Thomas. God dang, could not speak. But yeah, he had Deron Williams, DeMarcus Nelson. You got Deron Hillard. Dude, people forget about Deron Hillard, who's overseas. Brandon Davies, another great player. Jared Cunningham. He went over and got all the Americans that he knew. But Piero Antic, Nemanja Nedovic, like all those dudes, Joffrey Laverne, Timothy Luwalu Cabarro, Adam Mokaka, like all the guys that have ever played in the NBA. Boom. And then Dario Saric, Zubats, Goga Bitsadeh, Marko Simonovic, Juan Toscano Anderson, Jetty Osman, Vlatko Chanchar, Boban Marjanovic, Nikola Jokic, all, Vasiljevic, all represented by Mr. Mesko Razanovic. He is basically, he's like one of the biggest names the biggest names in basketball. I still can't believe Deron Hillard. I guess he was just a second round pick, but man, he's made a career overseas. Let's talk about that. But what else do we have? Oh, I guess we have to talk about this. So the Christmas Day game between the Lakers and Celtics averaged 5 million viewers, which represented an 18% decline from last year's window. Despite the decline, it was the most watched game this season. At least 4 of the 5 games on Christmas Day saw a decline, with figures not available for the Warriors-Nuggets matchup. The opening game between the Bucks-Knicks averaged 2.5, and that was 39% from the Sixers-Knicks last year. The Mavericks-Suns was down 42% with 1.47 million viewers, with the Sixers down 73% with 1.3. All 3 NFL games on Monday averaged more than 27 million viewers. It's just how it is. And another cool thing. Due to the unique scheduling issue created by the in-season tournament, the NBA moved the February 26th game between Detroit Pistons and New York Knicks from Detroit to Madison. This game, originally scheduled, required the Knicks to travel to Detroit, then back to New York for back-to-back games. The Knicks will now have a 4-game homestand between the February 24th to February 29th, which that makes sense. And here's an interesting report that we just saw. The Toronto Raptors, and this is coming from Michael Grange of Sportsnet, which is I guess you would say, a Canadian Toronto-based company. And yeah, let's just get into that and talk about what that could potentially mean. So basically what we are hearing is that Pascal Siakam and the Toronto Raptors eye December 30th as a deadline for their contract extension, meaning that the Toronto Raptors and Pascal Siakam are going to try to work out a contract extension before December 30th. If no deal occurs by tomorrow, he will be traded before the deadline. The contract extension signed before December 30th would allow the Raptors flexibility to trade Siakam next summer ahead of free agency. So regardless, even if they extend him, it'll allow them to trade him. With the eligibility of being able to sign a 4-year, $192 million extension, both sides have had the discussions over the framework of a new deal since the start of the season. The Pacers have expressed interest in Siakam as well as Mr. OG Anunoby. And I think that's where we look at this and we think, okay. I personally think sign him to an extension and trade him. If you want to see how this season plays out, sign him to the extension, then trade. And if you still want to rebuild in the offseason, I just think losing your players for absolutely nothing is the worst thing you can do. Worst thing you can do. And we've seen this happen time in and time out again. And I personally just want to see a team have success. And when I mean a team have success, I mean this one. Okay. I've always have found that the Toronto Raptors are one of the more fun teams to watch in the NBA. And when they're not doing well, the season isn't as fun as it has been in years past. So I'm all for let's push this. Let's try to find success. And even if they don't want to stay here, losing your players for nothing is the worst thing you can do, in my opinion. Worst thing you can do. Because you're just like getting rid of them. And I don't necessarily am a fan of that. So I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Is this just me? Or are you guys in agreement with me? Because I don't know, it's definitely an interesting situation they put themselves in. And I don't know what is technically the right or wrong answer. But that's where I want to hear your guys' thoughts. We'll dive into the Hawks and everybody in a second. Just want to make sure we're hitting all the headlines this morning. But yeah, I think the Raptors are another team that, like, even if they don't want to keep them long term and they want to rebuild, the Hawks want Pascal. Re-sign him and then trade him to the Hawks in the offseason. If you guys don't think this season's going to work out, that's what I would do at the very least. But, every team is different. And I think when we see this situation just developing more and more, it just seems like, hey. Also, there's a a great article, 2023 Detroit Pistons versus the 2020 versus the 2011 to 12 Bobcats. That's funny. All right. Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not worried. That's Steph Curry. All right. So Steph Curry's son struggles. Are they something we should be worried about? I don't think so. Nor does Steve Kerr. It is crazy that, the Raptors do have this deadline with Pascal Siakam. Are they deserving of it? Now, that's up for interpretation if you think they're deserving of, of that. Also, this Google support has been annoying me. Every time I open up my YouTube, they're like, hey, Google support, we're here. But here we go. Just uploading that. Let's see if there's anything else we need to talk about. Okay, oh my God. And listen to this. There's a great Monty Williams article. And what I guess we did say we're going to talk about Monty Williams, and I want to see if there's anything else. Also, the Illinois stuff is wild about Terrence Shannon being charged with, you know what? And let's get right into it. So, I don't think there is a bounce today. The bounce. I read this article. Lost 28. I feel like we read this already, but maybe I'm wrong. No, they wrote another article. Okay, they wrote another article. So let's talk about the Detroit Pistons and what's basically, I guess we're just gonna say what's going on there because, I mean, it's not been the best, and I mean we could put. I just feel bad for the Pistons. We talked about this in the past that it wasn't the prettiest thing in the world, but the Detroit Pistons, they have now lost what 29 games. Let's look at their official record because let's be respectful and say it how it is, ladies and gentlemen. Say it how it is. And that's the problem. This is not like how it's normally been. It's a weird season. I mean, people are comparing the Detroit Pistons to the Charlotte Bobcats. They don't deserve that. They do not deserve that. They are now 2-29. They are 2-29. The Pistons blew a lead against the Celtics. They lost 28 straight to tie the longest streak in NBA history. They fell. They had a 19-point lead and a half. And Kristaps Porzingis and everybody just turned it around. Now, whose fault is this? I know, first off, I've joked around and said that, Monty Williams is pulling a Jimbo Fisher and that he was just looking for that buyout. That they had to offer this guy a contract 3 times. And on the third time, they had to offer him the biggest contract in NBA history just for him to sign. And still, he would not sign until they gave him the biggest deal in the world. Now, we're here a few months later. And guess what? This team is awful. This team is awful. And the thing is one might argue that this mess is maybe because of Tom Gores and Troy Weaver. It's not because of Mr. Monty Williams. He just handles the roster. And one could say that they were the worst team in the league. They should have gotten Victor Wembanyama. The problem is that Monty Williams went to Phoenix and he turned a rebuilding team into a playoff team. But the thing is this team isn't suited for the Pistons youth movement. The Pistons are a team that, it's like I said earlier, people are comparing them to the Charlotte Bobcats from 2011. And I think it's just poor roster construction. What do you think, Jackson? Also, I can't take you serious right now. You've found the fountain of youth. Did you go back? Did you travel back in time?
Yeah, I regret it.
You look so young.
I know.
You look like a character from a Christmas movie.
I don't know what that means.
You just look wholesome. And gay, but not like the old fashioned gay. Like, oh, he's gay and jolly. Like when you hear in a Christmas Carol.
No.
Like old fashioned gays happy.
Sure.
All right. Well, I want to say this. Let me finish this little banter about Monty Williams. So when James Jones brought Monty Williams over about what? Monty Williams led. So the Suns hadn't gone a decade without making the playoffs when Monty Williams led them to the NBA Finals in 2011. And he was just 1 year removed from winning the Coach of the Year award. And Monty Williams' presence was a point of attraction for people to come to Phoenix. And one of the things was he was very well connected with Devin Booker. And the only players he appeared to have issues with was Jay Crowder and DeAndre Ayton, who weren't even a part of the bigger picture. Williams became the fall guy in Phoenix. But again, this is a guy that he literally had led this team to the best success they have had in decades. Phoenix. Now, when you come over here, you look at the fact that we're hearing the frustration in Phoenix and that Booker's recent on the court moment with Chemsy Metu is that there's some problems over there. However, Mr. Monty Williams has a 44-year-old wife and 5 kids. His wife has cancer, and he wasn't trying to come coach. They had to convince him to leave his wife with cancer to come and coach a team that doesn't seem like he wanted. This roster was full of youngsters. Jaden Ivey, Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, Asar Thompson as the building blocks. And Monty Williams, who he had came out and publicly said, I'm taking the year off. His agent had said, Monty's taking the year off. Was lured back into coaching. And right now, I think no one needs to feel bad for Monty Williams as he's on a 6-year deal that he'll get paid by Jimbo Fisher. But the situations that he's been put in, I feel like part of this is Monty Williams' fault, but we can't give all of it to Monty. But he he isn't making the best of a bad situation, but he was put in a bad situation where he wasn't put in a situation to thrive. Like the situation he walked into Phoenix, Devin Booker was already an all-star. DeAndre Ayton was like a borderline all-star at the time. There was pieces there. He came into, I don't know, a hodgepodge mess. What what's your thoughts right there, Jackson? Do you think this is Monty Williams' fault, or do you think this is Troy Weaver's fault, or do you think it's a little bit of everybody's? I think it's a little bit of everyone's, but I don't think all the blame needs to be put on Monty. I think some blame needs to be put on Monty, but not all of it.
I think all of it, and also Monty, Chris Paul got them to the NBA Finals, not Monty Williams. So
But
I think I think he's a
Monty,
horrible coach.
the year
I think he's
before,
got a outdated philosophy. The year before, they were a 33 win team. I guess so. They weren't even in the playoffs. Chris Paul got him to the playoffs. Chris Paul got him to the finals. They should have kept Chris Paul. They should have never gotten Yusuf Nurkic. And they should have kept Chris Paul. Now they got no point guard.
well, we're talking about
But I guess
Pistons.
they've played for 24 minutes as well combined. So I guess that goes into it. But uh, why would it be on the players, the team that won not 4 games last season? They're on pace to win like 4 games.
Yeah,
Like, of course, it's the coach. Like, Azar Thompson's coming off the bench.
but
Killian Hayes started for most of the season, and Isaiah Livers is also getting minutes on that team. Like, that's not Monty Williams. You got Azar coming off the bench.
no,
You've lost 27 straight games. Like, no roster is that
28
bad.
now. 28, I thought now. Last night against the Celtics was 28, right?
Yeah, so even worse. NBA record, like
Uh, so
they're not
27
that bad.
straight. I think it's 27 straight this. Wait, no, yeah, it's 28. It's 28. It's 28. I don't look. Okay, I'm fully on. Like, I personally, this season has been so bad that like, I mean, if I'm an owner, I usually give coaches 4 years. I'm a big fan of the 4 year rule that you give unless he loses the locker room. But like, I really like to see 4 years. Just you give him. I always thought 4 years was a great chance to give a coach. But I'd honestly, who was the last time in the NBA we saw a coach get fired within 1 year? I know it happens in the NFL, but I think this might be the year that we just look at all parties involved and we're like, this just didn't work out. I also think if we're going to fire Monty Williams, we fire Troy Weaver. I think Troy Weaver's part of the problem. But James L. Edwards of The Athletic wrote an article saying that the reason why this is so hard is because the Pistons had never done a true rebuild since the 2008 season, which 2008 was the last year of that championship Pistons team from '04. That their highest pick since, I mean, obviously Kate Cunningham, but before Kate Cunningham, their highest picks or like most valuable like draft acquisitions were Greg Monroe and Andre Drummond, so that they never had a true building block since then, and they've always retooled, like because and always try to be a bit better than mediocrity. And the reason why this is so bad is because this is the first time ever they've done to the studs rebuild, if that makes sense. But like the Houston Rockets, then let's compare them. How bad were your Rockets?
Just as bad as them.
Yeah, but like, which was your worst year with the Rockets? Last year?
No, you're hard and left.
Last year you guys went 22 and 60. Year before you went 20 and 62. Year before that you went 17 and 55. All right. You want to hear where the Pistons are right now in comparison? So in the year that Harden left for you guys were the 27th ranked offense and the 27th ranked defense, meaning you guys were the third worst offense and defense. You want to hear where the Pistons are?
Oh, Matt. I'm looking at it.
Oh, I actually did not. So they're 28th and 26th. Holy crap, you guys were a better defense and a little bit worse offense somehow. But you shot the 3-point shot better. Dude, Christian Wood was on that team.
Yeah.
How was that team technically
Oladipo.
worse? You had more vets on that team, and you guys were worse than the team with no vets.
What team are you talking about?
You're like the falling 2 years. The John Wall Christian Wood team was worse than the Jalen Green, Alperen Şengün, Kevin Porter Jr. team.
I mean, yeah, we sucked. We traded away James Harden.
So
They were not a good team.
I don't know. Do you think? But the whole thing is, you guys didn't get out of this until you got a new coach. Do you think that's the problem here, new coach, or do you think they need to go out into free agency and get like Miles Bridges or somebody?
Of course, it's the coach. I'm telling you. Of course, it's the coach. Of course, it's Monty Williams. Uh, Steven Silas is also part of that shit show. Like Bruno Fernando started over Alperen Şengün 1 year ago. Like, what's one logical explanation for that other
Oh
than
no! Oh
incompetency?
no! Guess who's the lead assistant coach for the Detroit Pistons?
Steven Silas.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's part of that. He's part of that shit show. That's
Should I
they're
tweet that?
incompetent.
Should I
They're
tweet
old.
that?
People know that. What
I don't think people are bringing this up on Twitter.
Steven Silas is a part of like the three worst uh losing streaks in NBA history. Pretty sure he's been a part of all three.
That's fucking crazy. Oh man, I can't believe that. I thought I just had to check where Steven Silas because I knew he almost went to the Celtics. Is he? That's awful. That is awful. Oh man, I can't believe Steven Silas is part of that. Also, why is George Floyd trending? Didn't he die?
I
That's
believe
bad.
so.
All right, I guess so. The problem with the Pistons is Steven Silas. But let's talk about Steven Silas's old team. You're a Houston Rockets fan. The Houston Rockets this season are 15 and 14. They've slowed down. They're ninth in the West. They're a play-in team as of right now. What is your thoughts on this team? Okay, their leading scorer is Alperen Şengün. Their leading rebounder, Alperen Şengün. Their leading assister, Fred VanVleet. They are the second best defense in the league, 21st best offense in the league. Their net rating is 2.8 plus, which is eighth, and they shoot 36% from three for a league ranking of 19. What are your thoughts on these Houston Rockets? Are they a playoff or are they a play-in team? They've taken a tremendous leap in terms of growth, and some might say that Jabari Smith is figuring it out, Dylan Brooks as well, and that their only problem is Jalen Green. What is your thoughts? Jalen Green over the last 10 games is shooting like I think like 30% or below 30% from three, like 35% from the field, and averaging 12 points a night for the season. He's averaging a career low 16 and shooting below 40% and shooting like 33% from three. Thoughts on the Rockets and any players?
Uh, yeah, they're good. Jalen Green struggling.
But why has Jalen Green struggled and what do you think's led to their success so far?
Um, the shots aren't falling in.
You think that's it? I just don't think he fits the team. Like I'd consider trading him.
Crazy. Not gonna. That'd just be so. You'll give a coach. You'll give a retard coach 4 years, but you won't give your number three pick 4 years. How come?
Well, I'm not saying for any trade. I'm just saying let's say if who's somebody okay, like if Terry Rozier became available.
It's the
I
worst thing I've ever
yeah, I
heard.
don't know if I like that trade after I said it. If let's think if somebody played the
Nobody's
same.
gonna get them to whatever they think somebody they can get them to. It's not gonna happen. Like I've been seeing Donovan Mitchell trades. Like first off, the Cavs are all set, and then secondly, Donovan Mitchell wouldn't even change anything about this team other than a little bit of scoring. I mean, Jalen Green just dropped 23 the other night when they lost, and everyone shut up. KD dropped his like fourth triple double ever, but Jalen Green will be perfectly fine. He's 21 years old. I think he's just trying to find his voice and his role on this,
Young team.
yeah, young slash now older
Uh,
team.
I mean, first off, Mr. Eme Udoka, I think, did the true vet move and said, I'm not benching him. I'm just going to have him play through his struggles. But at this point, what do you see Jalen Green? I personally just don't see him fitting this team. Like, I think Jabari Smith and Alfred Shagun adapted and they fit Eme Udoka. I just don't think Jalen Green does.
I don't know what the ulterior option would be.
You wouldn't, let's say, instead of paying him, you package him and Jay Sean Tate for somebody maybe a bit more established and consistent. Now you're cool with it?
No, I'm all set.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, let's fast forward in a year. What do you, or let's fast forward to the off season. This off season, you're going to have to pay him. What's a reasonable extension? Are you paying him like Tyler Hero money or more?
How much does what's Tyler Hero money?
I thought Tyler Hero got Tyler Hero contract. If I 4 years, 120 million. Or you want that Jalen Brunson, 4 years, 104 million.
Wow, he's very underpaid.
Oh my God! Everyone talks about Jalen Brunson's like one of the most underpaid guy. People, Jalen Brunson, people thought was going to be a borderline All Star. He's a borderline All NBA player.
Yeah, didn't you? Aren't those the same numbers? What was the difference?
4 year,
Oh,
120.
120.
4 year, 104.
Oh, I'm definitely all set paying him $30 million a year. I mean, he's not gonna command that amount of money.
That's what I'm saying.
Uh,
So, do you think he's a 25, $20 million a year guy?
I think right now he's probably like a 80 mil for 4 years
I'd pay that. I'd pay
kind
that.
of player.
I'd pay that. All right. So at this point, what's your expectation for the Houston Rockets end of the season? Like, what would you say, just being a play-in team, would you call that a success season, or do you want them to be a playoff team?
Well, I've been told that the playing is the playoffs. So if that's the case, then yeah, it would
Well,
be
I
a
was told
success.
play-ins, not playoffs, because the play-in stats don't show up in the playoff stats.
Yeah, people still treat it like the playoffs, but
I've always considered it its own thing, so
I mean, yeah, they won 22 games. So as long as you get over 22 games, I would consider the season
okay, you're going by win
a
total.
massive success. I think they would, they're going to be on pace to double it right now.
They
This would be a
are.
huge success. Yeah.
So,
The
what?
West is so good that
It's
it's just going to be
impossible.
hard to get a top six seed.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if Jalen Green was probably more consistent right now, they probably would be closer to the four seed, but
I
it is what it
wonder
is.
if, what do you call it? Freaking, like, with a team like the Rockets, will Jalen Green like change? Like, will Jalen Green even be long term part of this team? Because I think he's an okay basketball player, but everyone keeps comparing him to Bradley Beal and Zach LaVine, which there's nothing wrong with it, but I just think it's funny because who is he? Like at the end of the day, who will Mr. Jalen Green become at the end of the day? And will we see that with the Rockets, especially if our guy Ime Udoka is running the show now, still? I find that's where I get interested in thinking like, oh, how could this change? You know, or is that just me?
What?
Just seeing that like how Like Ime Udoka could change Jalen Green and change the outcome. Like last year, you would think Jalen Green's part of the long term future. Now with Ime Udoka, I don't know if people see him as a long term future.
Well,
That's
yeah,
all.
I think it's clear it's Şengün at this point, especially at this part of the season.
He's just so good.
Şengün's the franchise guy.
What about the Jabari Smith? His people aren't talking about Jabari as much anymore this season. Why is he's kind of fallen off the radar?
Jabari's doing a great job.
Yeah, but like,
Um,
but not scoring wise. It's been more seemingly a defensive impact, right?
I would say it's a little bit of both.
But like, I
I
felt
guess
like
it's more recent.
more recent. Yeah, I'm saying recently. Like on the season, I think he's just grown as a player completely. But over the last few weeks, he's been. I mean, he had that 34, 21, 26 game and double digit. I'm so amazed at his rebounding ability. I did not know Jabari Smith was this good of a rebounder.
Oh yeah,
You?
he's a great player. He was selected number 3 overall, and
Yeah.
yeah, he's doing a great job.
He's just like in college though. He went from. I just didn't think he's putting up very similar stats to what he's putting up in college, and if not even better. And I thought, I mean, first off, I think NBA draft analysis, he's a big man, right? He's a big. He's like a power forward center, Jabari, right?
Yeah,
But people acted like he was a power forward, small forward. When like people didn't act like he could play center coming out of the draft.
um, yeah, I guess. No,
Because people remember everyone was like, oh, he's Rashard Lewis, including myself. I said he was Rashard Lewis, but he's more like a the perfect modern day power forward center instead of being like a
yeah, he does fits the prototype pretty well.
instead of being a power forward small forward. But
Yeah, we really need it desperately.
okay, let's talk
Jock Landell can't do much.
before we talk about the Atlanta Hawks near the end of this episode. I just want to some breaking not breaking news, but some news has came out and said that the Indiana Pacers are interested in OG Anunoby and Pascal Siakam. We talked about earlier in the show that December 30th is the deadline that the Toronto Raptors have set with Pascal Siakam for a extension. So if no extension comes out for Pascal Siakam or OG Anunoby after December 30th, that means they are more than likely going to be traded. As we know, they have registered interest from the Indiana Pacers. The Raptors are right now trying to decide what they want to do with the players as they both will hit unrestricted free agency this summer. The Pacers have been rumored to be looking for upgrades after their run to the in-season tournament finale. The Indiana Pacers hope for a deep playoff appearance. The Pacers have not been to the playoffs since 2020. Now, for Toronto, they have given no indications on how they're leaning, but OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam, and Gary Trent Jr., who's also a pending free agent, are players that seem to be most likely to be moved. However, the Raptors have indicated that they have no intention of a full-scale tear down or rebuild, that they would rather retool on the fly and build. The thing is that if they do trade Pascal Siakam, they will more than likely keep OG Anunoby as they see him as a perfect fit next to Scotty Barnes. And he's a bit younger and he fits the timeline a bit better. Now, Gary Trent Jr., I think they would move just because they wouldn't want to pay him. And he doesn't provide, a multifaceted skill. We do know that the Pacers are also interested in Tobias Harris. So it does bring in kind of like an interesting situation. Now, Jackson, who would you trade if you were the Pacers? I would go all in. I think OG Anunoby fits best, but I'd take Pascal. I don't know. What's your thought? Or Tobias
Uh,
Harris? I think
uh,
Pascal only works in Atlanta. The only team I want to see Pascal traded to is Atlanta, which is a great segue in a second to get to our Atlanta discussion.
and really any of them, anybody works for the
Are you?
Pacers.
Are
I'd probably go
you?
Siakam.
I agree with Siakam. I think he just fits better naturally, Pascal. But if we look at this, exactly. I'm gonna pull this up. So Pascal Siakam this season, his 3-point shot is not falling at all like it has in years past. He's shooting 24% from three, but he is shooting 50.7% from the field. And I've always liked Pascal Siakam. I've always thought he's great. He's like the poster child for what a point forward should look like. But if we're giving an honest assessment of Pascal Siakam, he's a guy who's, the agility, the speed, his athleticism are big parts of his size. So that's why I kind of get scared with Pascal that like his prime will like, nosedive very quickly, as he's a lethal threat running the floor as a point forward. But the problem with him is that he can be inconsistent at times. Like his 3-point shot went from being somewhat consistent to, you know, a work in progress, it feels like. He's a tireless defender, but as he gets older, will it be there? I mean, the guy won most improved players, two-time All-Star, two-time All-NBA. He's 6'9" with like a 7'3" wingspan. Like these are traits that you can't teach. But if I'm the Indiana Pacers, I'd rather go for OG Anunoby, Tobias Harris because of, you know, availability is the best ability, they say, always. Am I wrong on that one? And I just feel like you need to get someone who fits the timeline better. And I think OG and Tobias, who are younger, fit the timeline better than Pascal, who is closer to being on the wrong side of 30 than he is on the right side of 20. That's just my thoughts. Do you agree with that, Jackson?
With what?
That Pascal Siakam, out of OG and Anunoby, Pascal Siakam, Tobias Harris, I'd rather have OG or Tobias because of the age and the 3-point shooting.
Uh,
Pascal shooting 24%.
I don't really want Bruce Brown and OG,
Though OG's like a 40% 3-point shooter.
but I don't want both of them.
Why? That'd be insane defense.
I doubt it. I doubt it. I doubt OG would solve their defensive woes. They give up 125 points per game. That's not very good.
That's true.
I'd go in the.
You going with Pascal?
I'd get Siakam,
All right.
and he's playing horribly. So
You could get him on the cheap.
yeah,
All
I
right.
mean OG's not playing that well this year either. Though the Raptors just kind of suck
The
in
Raptors do kind of
general.
just suck. All right, let's talk on the last thing I want to talk about today was the Atlanta Hawks and the season outlook. Jalen Johnson came back. Yes, they didn't get the win, but it looked great. Now, supposedly they are open to trading Clint Capella and DeJounte Murray and DeAndre Hunter, as there is some skepticism about the fit with DeJounte Murray. I personally think DeJounte Murray is all smoke screens and they're not going to trade him because I just think that Murray, Bay, Johnson, and Young, those are the first four best players. I think DeAndre Hunter, they realize they overpaid him and they're just trying to move off from that contract. And I could see, and he's a good utility player and somebody will take him on, but I definitely see them trying to get off of DeAndre Hunter. And then Clint Capella, he's averaging 12 and 10. But I think at this point, they're just looking at Mr. Onyeka Okongwu. And Okongwu per 36 is averaging, if better, if not the same stats. And they're basically playing the minutes together. So I personally think, with that being said, that it's more than likely that this Hawks team going into the deadline is looking to, I don't know if sell, but switch up the roster, save some money. And I could see them doing a 3-team trade where they send DeAndre Hunter to one team and then they send, Clint Capella to another. Because I think a team, earlier in the season, I thought the Grizzlies, but I think a team like the New Orleans Pelicans would be willing to trade for Clint Capella. They have Jonas Valanciunas and Najee Marshall, who I think are two players. I think Jonas can go somewhere else, or they can take on Jonas because he's an expiring. Najee Marshall fits what the Hawks want. But what is your thoughts right there on the Atlanta Hawks? They are currently 12th and 18th, 12th in the East. They're the fifth best offense, 28th defense, 12th in 3-point shooting. Their net rating is 20th with minus zero point 0.4. So I think right now they're looking for some defensive help. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know why they would. I don't. I've never really understood the Onyeka praise. I don't think they're looking to move Capella unless his name's in a rumor. I think Capella's much better than Onyeka, but
Onyeka has Bam Adebayo potential, is what like everybody loves.
it's year 4.
He's a
So
5.
even worse. I think the Bam prototype is past due at this point. I would trade I would trade Murray for sure. I think Murray does get traded.
You do
I would
think?
send him to the Lakers.
That's his.
Yeah, he doesn't do anything for their team, really. I mean, yeah, I don't think he really is doing all that much. And it's Trey's team, and I don't think Dejounte is doing them many favors. I would definitely trade
Well, I want
Dejounte
I
and
want
Hunter.
Austin Reeves, Max Christie, and Rui Hachimura for DeJounte Murray.
Not getting Max Christie from the Lake Show. No way.
A recent report came out saying that any trade the Lakers do is more than likely going to be a package centered around Max Christie and either Max Christie or Jalen Hood-Schifino packaged with Austin Reeves and then salary filler.
I mean, that's nice for the report. I don't think that happens though. I don't know why they would try to get rid of Max Christie.
Just, I think he just what isn't ready as quick as they need him to be. Also, AJ Griffin is
Yeah,
returning.
but that's fine. Max Christie wasn't going to play in the finals anyways. But I don't know. I don't see them trading Max Christie. I don't think that makes. I think I'm all set
Almost Seth.
if that's what it would take to get those two.
What about if we do this deal?
Two.
We send DeJounte Murray to the Lakers. He sent me Austin Reeves, Max Christie, and Rui Hachimura. We send you DeJounte Murray, freaking Clint Capella to the Pelicans for Jonas Valanciunas and Najee Marshall. And then we send DeAndre Hunter over to Atlanta for Gary Trent Jr. and Otto Porter.
Who's going to the Lakers?
DeJounte.
That's it.
We'll throw you AJ Griffin
And I'm getting rid of Reeves and Christie
for DeJounte
for Dejounte Murray.
and AJ Griffin. You're anti that
Denied.
deal? I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm out.
Jonas to Atlanta would be interesting.
It's an interesting trade, isn't it? Right.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Let me pull this up. Raptor.
Kind of like it.
Here we go. The Lake Show. Let me show you this.
I mean, at that point, I would give Capella to the Lakers.
We're not going to put picks involved because that's just going to be too much thinking, like which picks. But let's just go down. All right. Then the Hawks will trade Capella to the Pelicans, DeAndre Hunter to the Raptors, DeJounte Murray to the Lakers. All right. I want Valanciunas to the Hawks with Najee Marshall. And then I was going to say Gary Trent to the Hawks.
Stop giving the Hawks every damn player.
Well, look at this. I'm just trying to see this because this is good. Financial. Okay, it's because DeJounte Murray and Rui Hachimura can't be traded, but I'm pretty sure financially. Oh, impact. Yeah, Hawks can't do this. Yeah, we'd have to move. These are the players. Who would you send these players then to?
The Lakers.
Lakers can. Let me redo this. So let me redo this. Okay, Lakers can have Malachi Flynn.
What's that?
And Kyra Lewis Jr. Because you walk away, the Hawks trade away four players, and they're getting back three
The
players.
Lakers would never seek DeJounte Murray out this hard.
It's Clutch Sports player. Clutch Sports player. All right, so
Why
the
am I giving up three
first off,
players?
first off, this deal says that the Lakers would improve by 2 wins.
I don't care.
First off, put picks in here. So listen to this. You walk away with DeJounte Murray, Kyra Lewis Jr., Malachi Flynn. You give up Rui Hachimura, Austin Reeves, and Max Christie.
Yeah, I don't know why I would do
Hawks
that.
give up Capella. They get Jonas Valanciunas. Then Hawks move off of DeAndre Hunter's money for Gary Trent. They get themselves two expiring and two guys under on the books for cheap deals. I feel like that's not a bad deal right there. Or is this terrible in your eyes?
Yeah, I got no interest. I'd need at least Gary Trent.
On the Lakers,
Yeah.
I feel like let's readjust this then. Oh yeah. Let's trade Malachi Flynn to the Hawks, to the Raptors. All right, here we go. Looks like financially you would be able. Wait, I thought we changed this. This is the same exact trade. Yeah, I just adjusted the trade and just ignored it. Try trade. Financially, you would not. You would have to remove $1.5 million. You'd have to. Yeah, we have to cut 4.3 million. If the Lakers wanted to do this, they would have to still cut $4.3 million, which would be either Torian Prince or Jalen Hood Shafino. Who do you think's
Torian,
more?
for
Huh?
sure. Torian.
We'll send him to the Pelicans. And okay, financially that works. That does work financially. So this deal would now be Gary Trent Jr. and DeJounte Murray to the Lakers, Kyra Lewis Jr. and DeAndre Hunter to the Raptors, Clint Capella and Torian Prince to the Pelicans, Rui Hachimura. I actually think you are right. This is way more believable, this deal. The Lakers just fucking. The Hawks just become shit. Am I wrong? That's the problem with the deal. The Hawks become shit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the Lakers do it either. I
I
don't.
think the Lakers would do this. What do you mean? The Lakers get Gary Trent Jr., who's fucking fantastic.
I wouldn't use that word to
Okay,
describe Gary Trent Jr.
I'd rather have Gary Trent Jr. than Rui Hachimura.
Not me.
Not me.
No. Another guard who doesn't defend.
But we both expect the Hawks to make trades, though. That's in consensus, right?
Yeah, I like Siakam that you were saying earlier.
Yeah, I think Siakam goes there. All right, let's pull up.
Yeah, it'd be interesting.
Is this Tyrese Maxey?
Kind of looks like it.
It's not.
It's not even close.
Bones Highland?
Oh, that's Shaden Sharp. Oh, wait, he's too young.
It's in the West, though.
Ja Morant.
Malik Monk?
I don't think his hair is that long.
He's under the age of 30. This got to be like a Utah Jazz. No, it's a Pacific.
Hmm. Oh,
That was a good guess, right?
well, not really because we already did Shaden.
Oh, sorry. So we know he's like 28.
Is it Terrence Mann?
Is Terrence Mann that old?
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
So Laker. Who's it? Laker Dubs.
Cam Reddish is like 25.
Ooh,
Well,
I like Cam Reddish. Number 5 is it?
it's either yeah, it's number 5. What are the other two? Fox and
The who?
the Kings and who else? Or in the
Oh, the
Pacific?
Dubs.
Oh, it's Kevon Looney. Dude, Kevon
I
Looney
think so.
aged.
Oh wow,
So
nice.
I think Kevon Looney's career might be over.
What?
So like Kevon Looney was never an athletic guy to begin with,
What are you
and
talking about?
so no, just look at Kevon Looney's stats, dude. It's kind of crazy.
I'm sure they're just like last year's.
They're like down. They're down.
He started 27 games. How's his career over?
No, Trace Jackson Davis just looks better.
Ooh, TJD is nice.
All right, so
No,
basically,
they're not gonna go in
so
that
no,
route.
so I was listening to a Warriors beat writer, and he said, "Look, Kevon Looney's game was he was a grit and grinder, and his game he wasn't an athletic guy, and his game relied on the little bit of athleticism that he had. And this past offseason, he had I think at least one knee surgery, and over the last couple of years, he's had multiple knee surgeries. And they said that the little athleticism he had to begin with has been zapped, and with more and more games passing, they see that Steve Kerr is trusting TJD more and more, and they wouldn't be surprised that by the end of the season, if Kevon Looney's starter by like name, but by the end of the season, that Trace Jackson Davis and Dario Saric are playing more minutes at the 5 than Kevon, because Kevon's just not making the same impact that he used to.
I mean, he's averaging his second highest rebound rate ever.
Yeah, but you just watch him out there. He looks old. He looks slow.
Yeah, they all do though. I think it's perfect. Now I finally have a young athletic center.
I love TJD. I have no problem
Yeah.
with him. I think he's perfect. I'm just saying that like Kevon Looney maybe might become TJD's backup sooner than we thought. Is what I'm saying.
I don't think it happens this year. I think it's more of a Draymond being out, and that's why TJD is playing. I think they're still gonna run with
Do you care for Hoops Grid?
Mr. Looney. No, I don't care.
I didn't care. All right. Well, Luke's not on here. I'm done for today. I'm gonna edit this and clip it. You got anything else you wanted to talk about?
This show's so early in Central Time.
What do you mean?
It was 8 a.m.
Oh yeah, for you. When are you back?
tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You fly out tonight?
No.
When do you fly out?
Kind of wish. What day is it? Friday? Tomorrow.
Oh damn. Yeah, no, I got back yesterday. I was fucking dead.
Yeah, I bet. No stops, I'm sure.
Yeah, and then I picked up Nikki from the airport at like 5 in the
Oh my
morning.
goodness.
That's why I had to come back because I got her a plane ticket and she like arrived at like 5 in the morning. So I had to drive from Maryland to Beat so I could sleep. Like I slept 2 hours and then went and picked her up from the airport. Yeah, we were so grouchy, her and I, that we were like passively like look, she said we were passively like bickering at each other. So I was picking her up I was picking her up from the airport and she goes, I go, okay, I'm parked. Like, let me know where you're landing. She's like, oh, you're not at the cell phone lot? I'm like, no, there's no cell phone lot, lol. She's like, well, they're normally there, lol. And I was like, well, there wasn't one, lol, sorry. You know, we were like passively using LOLs in our texts. And then she says, what?
Time she get her day started if she got here at like 5 or there.
Yesterday we started our day. We got back at my place at 7. We watched some George Lopez and got high and then fell asleep till like 9:30, 10. No, that's a lie. We fell asleep till like noon, and then at noon we went grocery shopping.
No, I'm saying when she left Denver area,
Like what's her normal?
like 2 a.m. when she
Oh,
get going.
her she
That's gonna
started
be a long
her
flight.
she left the flight was from 11:59 to
PM?
yeah to 5:30 in the morning.
Oh, jeez.
It's a 3 hour flight.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I mean, it's best. It's better to do that than wake up at like 2 a.m. and go
Yeah,
to
yeah,
the airport. I forgot that they're like 2 hours behind you.
yeah. So, but the flight got delayed, so she had to sit on the tarmac for like an hour.
Yeah. At night though, it's
Not
not
the
bad.
worst.
Yeah. I think my
What?
next flight, I'm landing at night. I like a night flight way more. I like when it starts as night
So
and
do
it's just
I.
nighttime.
So do
Those are the
I.
best.
The,
Nobody's ever on those. Stretch the feet out. I keep getting lucky with nobody on my planes.
what airline do you fly?
United.
You fly nice. You
Yeah.
fly comfortable.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Your boys over here flying Spirit Frontier.
I cannot fly. I don't want to fly Spirit. That's so scary.
So my
Value
dad's
my
my dad's
life.
my dad's the same way. He has a Delta Sky credit.
Delta's nice.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? And well, my dad used to do American Airlines back in the day, but
Mm.
20 years ago, when my mom was pregnant of me or my little sister, they had a terrible experience with American Airlines that my dad wrote and called the president that they turned their returning flight tickets into first class because of how bad the experience. And in response, my dad was still like fuck American Airlines and like switched over to Delta. And since like 2004, 2003 or whatever, my dad's only flown Delta. And if I pay for my own plane tickets, it's Spirit or Frontier because I'm a cheap bastard. But I love it when my dad offers, "Hey, do you want me to buy you a plane ticket?" I'm like, "Yes." He'll get you like emergency exit, like Delta seats. So you buy like the exit where they ask you like, "Are you willing to help in an emergency?" Yeah, sure. Like, and you get the extra leg room.
No. Are you willing to help in an emergency?
Well,
Uh,
have you been asked that before? They have to ask you that because they'll
well, I
move
haven't
you.
sat there in a while. What the last one of the recent flights I was on, it was like some lady in a wheelchair or
They had to
cane or
move her. They
something like
had to
that.
move her. They had to
No,
move.
they didn't. They were like, are you prepared to, help in an emergency? And she was like, hell yeah.
I
They
would have
let it
objected.
fly.
I would have objected, been like, she's in a wheelchair. I don't think she's saving our lives.
I can't remember if if it was a wheelchair or it might have been just a cane because I don't think you can wheelchair. Maybe she can't. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what
I
it
would have
is.
objected. I would have been flight attendant. I am not comfortable having a paraplegic.
Yeah. Well, how much is it for you to go home to Maryland?
Depends on the like by plane.
Yeah.
I can like if I like depending on the year, I can catch a Spirit flight round trip under $100.
Oh,
But without Spirit, it's. Did you just hear my dog?
no.
She just I think slipped and fell on the hardwood. All right. What are you doing
It's
this when
it's
you?
less than $300 to go to back home most of the time though.
Yeah,
Here
it's not bad.
on United.
I got to go back. I gotta drive up and then fly back down here when I go for my trip to Guatemala.
Oh, nice. Oh yeah, for school.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah, and then I think I'm gonna do the same thing when I go to Indianapolis for the NBA All-Star game in like a month.
Fly home or drive.
I'm trying to decide if I just drive to Indy or I fly to Indy, like drive home and fly to Indy and leave my dog with my parents. I'm like
Uh,
trying to decide like what I'm doing.
yeah.
I should get you a media pass and you should come with me and be a media member for All Star. What are you doing in
Yep.
February? Would you come?
I was supposed to have my buddies were gonna come stay with me, and then I found out I have to be in Chicago the first week of February.
Why you have to? Another toe procedure?
Now I gotta watch the cat.
Cats can watch themselves. That's fucking stupid.
No. Golden Tate?
I do know Golden Tate. I love the Golden
He
Tate.
made when Nick and I were in Nashville, he joined our group.
Wait,
He was
what?
yeah, he was friends with our 2 years ago, pretty much exactly 2 years ago. We were in
Golden Tate, like
Nashville.
wide receiver, Super Bowl winning
Yeah,
Golden
Notre
Tate,
Dame legend.
Notre Dame
Yeah,
legend. Yeah, it went in the second round somehow.
Yeah, he joined us for the back nine because he was buddies with the the people we were playing with, and he made fun of Nick. Told him I had to go back. We had to go drive back to Chicago like in like 2 days or something like that because I had to go home and watch my cat again.
And did he
And
make fun?
Golden Tate would just like he loved it. He like made fun of me like the final three holes, like every single shot,
Would be
you know,
like,
trying to
oh,
get my head
what?
talking
Like
about
you're taking care of
go
a
home and
cat?
watch my cat. Yeah, it's just a cool. I'll always remember that
You got shit talked by Golden Tate for being a pussy.
for having to watch a pussy.
That's
Uh, I
so
love
true.
watching my cat along because she then I'm the alpha for the week. She loves my
How
mom
big
so
was Golden
much.
Tate?
Not that big. He
Yeah,
was not
because
that big.
he's only 5'11". I was just wondering if
Yeah, he was.
were you
I think that
surprised?
was his
Did
last
you
year. He
know
was
it
a,
was Golden Tate, or was it until you said it was Golden Tate? Did you know it was Golden Tate?
oh, I knew it was Golden Tate.
I know
Notre
Golden
Dame.
Tate.
My dad and I watched every Notre Dame football game whenever I was with him my whole life. Golden
That's
Tate's a
funny.
legend.
Dude, Golden
Him
Tate's.
and
Oh,
Michael Floyd.
wait. Jalen Ramsey's married to Golden Tate's sister.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, yeah. He's
I
married.
just found out. You know Cheryl David,
No.
the wife in Curb.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, she's
yeah.
married to Robert
Yeah, you
Kennedy
didn't know
Jr.
that? You didn't know he's married to Robert
No,
Kennedy?
I found that out
Yeah,
yesterday.
Cheryl
What the
Hines. Cheryl
fuck,
Hines.
dude?
Cheryl Hines. Don't say Cheryl
Yes,
David. Cheryl
yes. Oh
Hines.
yeah, yeah,
Her
yeah,
real name is Cheryl Hines. Sorry. Yeah, Cheryl
yeah.
Hines. Yeah,
She's married to
and
Robert Kennedy
separate.
Jr. What the
She right
hell?
now is separated from him because she still loves him, but he's right now running
Oh,
for president, and she doesn't agree with his political views. So she said while he runs
oh
for
my God, that's so
president,
retarded.
she is separating himself from him because they don't want anything to happen with their relationship. But yes, Cheryl Hines is.
Oh, well,
Yeah, like they don't want his political.
that's not that bad. I
No,
accept that.
it's actually like really responsible. She doesn't agree with his political career, so
What?
she doesn't want it to affect their relationship. So while he chases his political career, they are amicably separated. But like, yeah, Cheryl Hines is with RFK. Yeah, you didn't know that, and you know Julia Louis Dreyfus is married to Ted Danson.
The Elaine?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure Elaine's with. No, I could be wrong. No, I'm wrong. No, not Elaine, not Elaine. The mom from Step Brothers. The mom from Step Brothers is married. Sorry, not Elaine. My
To
apology.
who?
To Ted Danson.
Oh, Ted Danson.
Is the
Oh,
mom
what a
from
power couple.
yeah, this one. The mom from Step Brothers.
Yeah, she's a classic.
Yeah, she's
She's
married.
in Elf too.
Yes, Elf too, yeah. She
Wow.
is Ted Danson's wife. And then
Wow.
my
Ted Danson's I love him in Curb.
he's so funny. My dad loves Cheers.
I've
Julia
never seen Cheers, man.
really.
Talking about that, yeah. I didn't
Uh,
know he was in it.
And then Brad Hall, the guy from SNL, is with Julia Louis Dreyfus, who he is my.
Brad Hall. What?
This guy is Julia Louis,
Old is that dude?
probably old as fuck. She's like 60.
Yeah, but he looks 80s.
My friend's best
How old is
friend,
this man?
65.
65? My
Yeah.
ass.
My good friend from college, Garrett, best friend's aunt is Julia Louis Dreyfus. So he said whenever he would go to his friend's
Wow.
family functions, Elaine would be there.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah.
Elaine. Oh my god.
All right, bud. I'm gonna let you be. Have a good day. I'll see you Monday.